Good morning, readers. Today we are going to discuss Sing Power in its many forms. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and get out your reading, learning, intention sheet. Fill in the date. Go ahead and write the book you are reading, which should be your historical fiction book. Today, as a reader, I am working on Identifying Forms of Power. Readers, we have just finished Number the Stars, and I always find that the ending of a book is so wonderful because it helps me put all the pieces of the story together. It's especially important that when we finish a book, we consider the things that surprise us because it helps us to realize things about the story. So I was thinking about numbers and that the things that surprised me in Number the Stars. So go ahead and turn and talk with your partner about something that might have surprised you in that book. Readers, one of the really surprising parts to me was the handkerchief part. I had no idea that there were scientists and people working to smuggle the Jewish people out of Denmark. Throughout the whole book, I was thinking that the Germans had all this power. But when the handkerchief part came up, it started to make me wonder who really has the power in this story. Turn and talk with your partner now. Readers, I too realized that there are other people that had power. The Danish resistance is one of those people, or one set of those people. There was also power among the everyday citizens. There was power in their friendship. So readers, today we are going to look at our books with a new lens. We are going to look at our books through the lens of power, and we're going to think about who really has the power in our stories. When we investigate power, in whatever form it's in, and how power changes or shifts in a book, it helps us to find new meaning in books. Readers, as we consider power in a story, there are questions that we can ask ourselves. At the beginning of a book, we're going to think about who makes the rules and who is in charge. So, let's consider these two questions while I read a part of Number the Stars aloud. Readers, let's think all the way back to the beginning of Number the Stars, when Anne-Marie and Ellen are running down the street and they bump into the soldiers. And the soldiers then give them orders. So it says in the book, "Go home, all of you. Go study your school books and don't run. You look like hoodlums when you run." And then think about this next part. When the soldiers come into Anne-Marie's apartment and they're asking about Ellen. So the soldier said, "Where did you get the dark-haired one? He twisted the lock of Ellen's hair from a different father, from the milkman." Right now, I want you to share your thoughts about who you think has the power. Readers, you may have pointed out that in these situations, it seems as though the Nazis have all the power. But I want you to think for a moment, is there anyone else that has power? Even in the situation of the soldiers coming into Anne-Marie's apartment, is there anyone in that situation besides the Nazis that has power? Readers, whenever there is power, there is always resistance to that power. I want you to turn and talk with your partner about what some of the signs of resistance to the Nazi power were. Do that now. Readers, in addition to asking ourselves who makes the rules and who is in charge, there are other questions we can ask when we're investigating power. These questions are, who has the power? What are the signs of that power? The next question is, what is the resistance? And what is their power? Readers, when we ask ourselves all of these questions, then we see all of the forms of power in a story. Since we have finished Number the Stars, we know that the Nazis had power in Number the Stars. They were the obvious form of power. They made some of the rules. They were in charge. But there was a resistance movement, and they also had power. They had many forms of power. They were working together to smuggle or take the Jews out of the country and protect them. So, as you're reading your book today, you should be investigating power, thinking who makes the rules, who is in charge, who has the power, and what are the signs of that power, and finally, what is the resistance to that power, and what is their power. You are going to meet with your book clubs today. You are going to investigate power or talk about it, and then you will make a new goal for what you will read by Thursday. Finally, you will find your quiet reading spot and begin to read. Let's make it a great reading day.